All right, everybody, we've got 1 minute, and so I'm going to go ahead and start to get started. We're going to start in a comfortable seat today. I've got 2 pillows just to prop the hips up. We're only going to spend a little bit of time in a seated position. So just make sure you have those, and if you need one, go ahead and grab it. They're quite literally pillows off of my couch. And then you'll see I have 2 chairs. You really only need one. I'll be going back and forth to make sure that you guys can see which side I'm on. I place it at the top of your mat. You don't absolutely need it. We're going to do a warrior 2, front knee bent, back knee extended, and then a little bit of a triangle today. And having that chair there is really nice. Not necessary if it's not part of your practice. It's just there, and I like to have it just in case. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Finding the comfortable seat, set up your pillows or your bolster or your blanket. And start by finding a comfortable seat. We will start either with the feet out in front of us, so hips in neutral, feet planted, or if you would like, you can start in comfortable cross-legged. Completely up to you. I like starting with my feet planted on the ground out in front of me. And then either way, bringing the hands onto the thighs, and they can face down or up, whichever one feels best for you. Maybe even trying out a little bit of both or switching in between. And we'll start just by noticing our breath. So what does it feel like to inhale? Are you inhaling through the nose or the mouth? Is there expansion in the chest or in the lower abdomen? As you exhale, feeling the chest or the belly come down, and there's a little bit of heaviness in the head and the neck and the shoulders. Inhaling, finding a little bit of expansion, whether or not it's the chest or the belly, just noticing. Exhaling, a little bit of heaviness once again. Maybe this time it's in the jaw. Maybe the lower jaw even releases away from the upper jaw. Inhaling either through the nose or through the mouth. And exhaling, finding a little bit of a release. On your next inhale, start to find expansion through the spine. So feeling the chest or the sternum reach towards the ceiling, pressing down through the sits bones. And as you exhale, curling the spine towards the ceiling or the wall behind you. Maybe starting to find a little tuck of the chin. Inhale, finding that extension, feeling expansion through the front body. Exhaling, finding that rounding feeling, letting the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, reach. Exhale in. 2 more rounds of breath, taking your time, making the movements as small or as exaggerated as you would like. Coming back to neutral after that last round of breath, we'll start by expanding the left arm out from the left shoulder. Palm is facing up. It doesn't have to go all the way to straight. It can be a little bent. Check in with that right, or check in with the left shoulder. Make sure it's not all the way up towards the ear. Let it relax down away from the ear. And on an inhale, flexing the left palm towards the ceiling, maybe the fingers start to extend down. And then bringing the right ear to the right shoulder. On an inhale, bringing everything in, fingertips reach towards the head, and the left ear comes to the left shoulder. Inhale, reaching out, so right shoulder to the right ear, fingertips reach. Exhale, in. Finding a few more rounds of breath, just like that, and once again, checking in with the shoulder, making sure it hasn't hiked up towards the ear. And then you can stay here, or you can start to extend that arm out to straight. the inhales and noticing the exhales. On your last round of breath, coming back to center. This time the right arm extends out from the right shoulder. Palm faces the ceiling. Remember, it doesn't have to be all the way straight, it can be a little bent. Check in with the right shoulder, make sure it hasn't come up towards the right ear. And on your next inhale, bring the left ear to the left shoulder, and the palm starts to extend. Maybe the fingertips reach down. As you exhale, pulling everything in, so fingertips towards the head, right ear to the right shoulder. And then inhale, left ear, left shoulder, fingertips reach out. Exhale in, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale out. Exhale in. And then 3 more rounds of breath, and you can start to extend that arm towards straight or leave it bent, or find somewhere in the middle where maybe there's even a little bit of movement. The only rule here is, are you breathing? It doesn't have to be big, deep inhales or slow, controlled exhales. It just has to be there. What does it feel like to inhale? And what does it sound like to exhale? Coming back through center after that last round. And then starting out by grounding the right fingertips out towards the right hip, fingertips face away, thumb faces in, and the left arm's gonna reach up and over, palm faces down. Finding a little bit of length through the left side body. And an inhale, come back up through to center, and then the left fingertips come down, right fingertips reach up. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over. And then taking the next 6 rounds of breath to move on your own. So maybe you find one spot that feels really good and you stay there for a whole round of breath, or even 2 rounds of breath. Or maybe you're moving a little bit faster with that breath. Finding sensation all along through the side bodies, even down into the hips. Staying with this reaching up and over, or you can even start to swing the arm out in front and then up and over. Remembering there's only one rule: are you breathing? What does it feel like to inhale, and what does it sound like to exhale? You should have about 2 more rounds of breath. Eventually making your way back to the middle. And once you do, removing the pillows out from underneath of your sits bones and just placing them to the side. You might need them towards the end, you might not. Just keep them within reach. And then we'll make our way to a table in the middle of the mat. So finding the wrists underneath of the shoulders and the knees underneath of the hips. And we'll start by just making circles with the upper body. So you can start in either direction. And just tapping into the wrist creases. So what does it feel like to move the weight from the outsides of the hands to the insides of the hands? What does it feel like when the shoulders shift towards or even beyond the fingertips? Then switching directions if you haven't done so already. Coming back to neutral, spinning the right fingertips to face the right side of the room, the left fingertips to face the left side of the room. Just taking those same circles. Noticing if there's a difference from left to right. And then if you haven't already, switch directions. Feeling expansion on the inhales and a little bit of heaviness on the exhales. Coming back to center, fingertips face forward. Walk the hands about a handprint and a half out in front of you. The index fingers are pointed forward so that they're parallel with one another in the outer edges of your mat. The outer three fingertips span out nice and wide, and you're pressing down through the entire hand, so all of the fingers and all of the knuckle pads. Begin to tuck the toes and just feel like what it feels like to have the toes tucked. Maybe there's a lot of sensation on the backs of the feet or the toes. On your next inhale, pressing down just a tiny bit through the knees, feel the core engage, and then as you exhale, lifting the hips up and back, finding a gentle downward facing dog. And the legs don't have to go all the way to straight, they don't even have to go anywhere near straight. Finding a few rounds of breath here, maybe there's a bending in one knee and then the other. Maybe there's a bending in both knees and then working towards straight. Walking the feet out towards the outer edges of the mat, finding a nice wide-legged forward fold. And then start to walk the hands towards the feet, and eventually we'll make ourselves into a wide-legged forward fold at the backs of our mats, putting a deep bend into the knees and letting the chest hang heavy over the thighs. The arms can hang down towards the mat, or the forearms can come onto the thighs. Letting the head hang heavy. Maybe there's a little shift left to right. A shaking of the head, yes and no. An opening and closing of the jaw. Allowing the head to be heavy. Feeling expansion in the abdomen on the inhale. And the head and the neck and the shoulders getting heavy as you exhale. Slowly start to roll up. Arms stay down by the side. Just taking your time. Coming all the way up to standing, and then you guys stay in the middle of your mat. I'm going to face you and start to find the feet about hips distance apart. So anywhere between 6 to 8 inches. Take a look down. And then pressing down through the entire foot. And you might even pick up the toes, give them a little wiggle, and then set them back down, engaging through the arches. And then on your next inhale, sitting the hips back, but so you can still see your toes. Arms reach up, palms face one another. As you exhale, fold forward. And remember, the forearms can come onto the thighs, or the arms can hang down. On an inhale, come back up through that bent knees, arms reaching above the head, chair. As you exhale, coming all the way to standing, arms come down by the sides, palms face down. Inhale, bending the knees, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand, arms down by the side. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. 3 more rounds. Take a second to shift side to side. We'll do this 3 more times, and it's as if you give everything you have to these simple movements, if this is all you did the entire class. On an inhale, hips sit, arms lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, stand. Taking up space with the arms, inhale, sit. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit. Exhale, stand. Last one, inhale, sit. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit. Exhale, stand. Meeting at the top of your mat. And we'll start by taking a big step back with the left foot. So I'm no longer mirroring you guys. I'm going to do the exact same side as you. Big step back with the left foot coming into a lunge. And then high on the ball of the back foot, go ahead and spin it down to 90 degrees so the back foot's parallel with the back edge of the mat. And you've got this nice bend in the front knee. It doesn't have to come all the way over the ankle. And then from here, arms come out by the sides. And then at first, just find to start to reach forwards and backwards. Noticing what it feels like to keep the hips steady but the shoulders move. And then carefully make those movements smaller and smaller until eventually you make your way to stillness, but we're finding this center of gravity. And then from here, the right forearm to the right thigh, and then the left fingers reach up. And then some of you have this chair here, and you can use that chair to lean on if the thigh's a little farther down. 3 rounds of breath here, feeling the lower belly expand on the inhale. The shoulders fall away from the ears on the exhale. Inhale, expand. Exhale, check in with the muscles around the eyes. Gently release, and then everyone finding that chair that's in front of you will turn towards the chair at the top of the mat. Come up high on the ball of the back foot, take about a step and a half forward, and this time the back heel spins down to about a 45-degree angle. So we're not necessarily at 90, we're at 45 so that we can face this chair. Working that front leg towards straight again, it doesn't have to go all the way there, and we'll start to fold the chest over the thigh, finding a hamstring stretch, and this is why those chairs are really helpful, bringing the palms down. And then we have 5 rounds of breath here, finding expansion on the inhale. Exhale, letting the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy. If you're not using a chair, maybe the arms come down to the thigh, maybe the arms come down to the floor. On your next exhale, checking in with the jaw, maybe opening and closing the mouth. Slowly start to stack the shoulders back over the hips. Putting a bend back into the front knee and then stepping up to the top of the mat. Big step back with the right foot. Coming into that high lunge, but this time staying up high on the ball of the back foot. A couple of options here. The right hand can come down onto that chair. The right forearm can come onto the left thigh with the palm facing up, or the right hand can come down underneath the right shoulder. I'm going to leave my hand here on the chair. Left hand comes to the left hip, giving it a little press. On an inhale, getting long from the heel to the crown of the head. As you exhale, opening the chest up towards the left, finding a little bit more engagement through the right glute than through the left. And then once again, finding the breath here, feeling the inhales, and listening to the exhales. Slowly unwind. And then stepping back up to the top of the mat. And then you guys stay where you are. I'm going to switch sides. And then once again, we'll step the right foot back all the way back to the back of the mat, finding that lunge, spinning the back heel down to that 90-degree angle this time. So the back foot is parallel with the back edge of your mat. Front toes are facing forward, bending through the front knee. Arms reach out to either side. And we'll start by just reaching forwards and backwards. And then very slowly making those movements smaller and smaller. Feeling the change in the engagement of the core as our weight shifts. Then eventually coming to center. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. Finding length through both sides of the side bodies. Then gently release the arms. We're going to come high onto the ball of the back foot. Oh, I lied. 90 degrees in the back foot. And then left forearm to the left thigh. So we're still in this warrior two. Right fingers go towards the ceiling. And then staying here, or if you have that chair out in front of you, bringing that bottom hand onto the chair. 3 rounds of breath here. Feeling a little bit of expansion on the inhale. And the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy as you exhale. Releasing the right hand back down. Come up high onto the ball of the back foot. Step it up about a step and a half. This time we're going to find a 45-degree angle in that back foot. And keeping a little bend in the front knee, we'll start to fold the chest over the thigh. And you have plenty of options here. Arms can come down to the chair. Forearms can come down to the chair. Or if you don't have a chair because it's not part of your practice, the arms can come down to the floor, or the forearms can even come down onto the thighs. Letting the head hang heavy once again, finding a press down through the back foot. Reaching the left hip towards the back of the room. Inhaling here. Exhaling, letting the head get heavy. Releasing the arms, bringing the shoulders up over the chest. And then meeting at the top of your mat, you guys can stay where you are. I'm going to turn and face the camera. So once again, finding the hips underneath of finding the feet underneath of the hips, about hips distance apart. And then I'll mirror you guys once again so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Coming up onto the ball of the left foot, putting a bend into the left knee. And then moving from the hip, we'll start to turn that left knee out towards the left. And you can keep the ball of the foot grounded, bringing the heel of the left foot to just above the ankle of the right. If you would like, you can start to bring it up to the calf. I'm going to stay here, pressing down through the ball of that left foot. And then bringing the left hand to the belly and the right hand over the chest, just using that as a marking point for the breath. On the inhales, feeling the chest and then the belly expand. As you exhale, the belly goes down, chest goes down. Inhale, chest expands, belly expands. Exhale, belly goes down, chest goes down. Last one. Inhale, chest, lower belly. Exhale, belly goes down, chest goes down. Releasing the arms, and then releasing the legs. This time putting a bend into the right leg, coming up onto the ball of the right foot, opening up that right hip. Ball of the right foot down with the heel of the right foot just above the left ankle, or you can bring it up to the inner thigh. Feeling that press down through both feet or just through one foot, and see how it lets you stand up a little taller. And then right hand onto the belly, left hand onto the chest. On an inhale, feel the chest expand, belly expand. As you exhale, belly and chest go down. On an inhale, chest expands, belly expands. As you exhale, belly goes down, chest goes down. Inhale, belly expands, chest expands. As you exhale, the belly goes down, and the chest goes down. Releasing the arms. Releasing the legs. And then bending through the knees, and we'll come all the way back down onto the mat. And we'll come to a comfortable seat. Starting with the arms out behind us, bringing the feet to the outer edges of the mat. There's still a bend in the knees, and the soles of the feet are grounded. And then just letting the knees fall from one side to the other. It's kind of like they're windshield wipers. Maybe you stay on one side for a full round of breath, or maybe you're moving from one side to the other in a single. Got about 3 more rounds of breath here. Inhaling. Exhaling, finding a little heaviness in the shoulders, a little space between the ears and the shoulders. Gently release down. We'll come all the way down onto our backs. And then you can either leave both knees bent, leaving the soles of the feet grounded, or you can extend them out to straight. We'll begin by pulling the right knee into the chest. Just coming back to that breath. Not defining anything or not trying to change it, but just noticing. The breath coming through the nose or through the mouth. Is there movement in the chest or the abdomen as you inhale and exhale? Releasing the right leg and then taking the left knee into the chest. Hands come to the outside of the left shin. And this time, as we take a few breaths here, maybe even feeling the expansion on whatever is holding you up. Feeling the weight press down through the upper back. And as you exhale, letting the body feel heavy against the floor. As you inhale, feeling the expansion across the mid-back. Exhaling and allowing the floor, the mat, or whatever is underneath of you to hold you up. On your next inhale, feeling expansion in the lower back. Or the sensation of whatever is underneath of you against the hips. Releasing the left leg down. And heel toeing the feet out wide, letting both knees come in towards one another, or extending the legs out to straight. Whichever one, it's up to you. We'll be here for about another 3 minutes, and I'm going to come up to a comfortable seat, but you guys stay exactly where you are. The hands can come across the belly with the fingers interlacing. The arms can come down by the sides with the palms up or down. Feeling the breath come in through the nose or through the mouth. And as you exhale, checking in with the space in between the eyes. Letting the muscles around the eyes release. And bringing your awareness to the jaw. Once again, maybe the lower jaw releases away from the upper jaw. Maybe the tongue releases away from the roof of the mouth. Noticing the sensation in the shoulders. On the next exhale, the shoulders get heavy down into the mat. Maybe the space across the chest feels a little bit more expansive. Noticing the sensation in the neck. And noticing the weight pressing down through the upper back. Traveling down into the mid-back. Feeling the hips get heavy. The legs are straight. Quads giving permission to the knees to release. If the knees are bent, allowing the knees to be heavy and towards one another. And you guys stay exactly where you are. Our time is up today. Thank you so much for joining us as part of Operation Remote Resilience. A little bit of information in the description below. This is Christie, signing off in health, resilience, and connection.